It's the hashtag Simply Cyber, COMMUNITY. Here to break the cycle, this is vital more than you and I. Yeah, it's exciting, it don't matter what your title is. You can grab a friend or two or three or four and invite them in. It's the Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's the live with Jerry every morning, having good time. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. It's the Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's the live with Jerry every morning, having good times. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. Dr. Auger is a OG, got that potion, the elixir. Got devotion to all those who keep on showing up to witness. Fit the tricks and quips and all the tips to raise your cyber fitness. Switching up the routines, pass it off to James quicker. Keep the people smiling, hit that follow, that's a good decision. Every week, today, tomorrow, I encourage y'all to listen. We gon' teach y'all way more than how to protect yourselves from phishing. More like being confident so you can recognize the vision. On a mission, it's official, we gon' get through all these issues. Time for jaw jacking, baby, this is more than a tradition, yeah. Oh, I can't forget to recognize the mods. They the engine, they the reason that you leave it feeling charged. It's a Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's that live with Jerry every morning, having good times. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. It's a Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's that live with Jerry every morning, having good times. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. Yeah. What else can I say? I hope you find some value in this place and have yourself an awesome day. Simply Cyber's here to stay. So let's all put our hands together ready. Time to hang with Dr. A.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the party. Today is January 22nd, 2025. This is episode 797 of your Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. I am your host, Dr. Gerald Auger, and over the next hour, you, Funky Monk, shaking his head about the music, DJ B-Sec behind the glass, everybody in the southeast or the south of the United States freezing their tuchus off, Roswell, UK from across the pond, Mondo Avila, Mara Levy, Ms. Julian up in the great north, and so many people battling ice, snow, sleet, and cold weather on this Wednesday morning. We're all going to be shredding the top cybersecurity news stories of the day, and I'll be going through it, giving my expert opinion and analysis on each of those stories. Jamie Fleck is in chat. Good morning, Jamie. Good to see you. It's been a minute. I'll be giving you my expert opinion and analysis on each of the stories as best I can, whether depending if they're cyber related or not. And really trying to drive home value for you about what you can do to help drive cyber risk reduction from your from these stories for your business. Here's the deal. You got to be a lifelong learner to really operate in this business, and learning from other people's mistakes, for better or worse, right? Like, it's not like we want other people to have mistakes, but learning from them enables us to level up our own game and hopefully, basically avoid getting hit with a whack-a-mole situation at some point. Good morning, Tom Bishop from the boot. Also, if you're a solo operator, we do have a few of those, meaning that you're a one-person shop. You're the one person who's responsible for InfoSec or maybe IT at your business. Small, mid-sized businesses, this is classic situation. Know that the Simply Cyber community is a virtual workforce. Coworkers, we're here for you. Support inclusion. Don't drop sensitive info, but you can bounce an idea, ask about a product, etc. And if you are looking to break into the industry, which so many are, and I got to tell you, cybersecurity is dope. We got value for you here. You're going to be asked in any job interview, how do you stay current? Say this answer, and trust me, it will go a long way. By the way, you have to, let me just qualify this. You can't just come into the show, put it on mute, and go do laundry, and then come back in an hour, shut the show off, and then in an interview be like, I'm Daily Cyber Threat Brief. The point isn't that you're here. The point is that you're engaged and paying attention, because that's what they're asking you for in the interview when they say, how do you stay current? It's like, how do you stay current? And this show just provides you all of that scaffolding that you need in order to stay current. Plus, the freaking networking is amazing. Hello, hashtag Team SC, Viper Nil, Mondo, Agent 57, people in the pre-show jaw-jacking. If you didn't know, over on Discord every single morning from 7:30 a.m. to 8 a.m., running right into the show, there's a group of community members getting in there, sharing knowledge, sharing experiences, doing all the things. So definitely go check that out. We are pushing the Discord community to new levels. Compliments of Chris Whitlock and the mod teams. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, before we get into it, let me tell you two things. One, I don't research or prep for any of these shows. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
So you're going to get my raw, authentic, hot takes. I will say, in full disclosure, because you guys know I do like to be full transparent. When I set the shows up, I do open the tab, so I see the headline. One story I did read today, okay? And it has to do with politics, which is why I read it. So we can, a couple days ago we had a political story. I try to keep it apolitical here. Long story short, I did read one story. I will call it out when we get there. It's kind of a nothing burger story as far as cybersecurity goes, which is even more frustrating. But we will handle that as we go. I also want you to know, my dear friend, that the Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast is brought to you by some wonderful, wonderful community partners, sponsors, if you will, including Antisyphon Training, guys. Antisyphon Training is absolutely disrupting the cybersecurity training industry. Let's just do a quick 30 seconds with. Actually, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do a raw ad read for them. Antisyphon Training is disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training industry by providing high-quality, cutting-edge education to everyone, regardless of financial position. They present and give skills that are in demand from industry practitioners who are awesome. And in some instances, the training is $0. So if you're looking for great training at a ridiculously affordable price, definitely go check out Antisyphon Training. That's Black Hills' training arm. I love this company. I love the people who work there. Zach Hill, Kathy Chambers, Daniel Lowry, John Strand, Wade Wells is an instructor. Michelle Kahn is an instructor. Tim Medine's an instructor. John Strand's an instructor. So many wonderful people. I'm going to drop a link to this in chat. Literally, I don't know what your week looks like next week, but next week, Monday through, look at this, January 27th through 30th. If you're looking on stream right now, next week, January 27th through 30th, you can get SOC core skills training with John Strand. So John Strand, industry leader, and you can learn 12 practical skills, and you can do it for the right sum of $0. So listen, if you have time, if you're in between jobs, if you're trying to level up, if you're a student, whatever if you're on Christmas, like not Christmas, if you got like winter break because of the weather or whatever, take advantage of this opportunity. I'm telling you, this is definitely a wicked good opportunity presented by Antisyphon. This is what they do. They suck at capitalism on purpose. All right, here's a link to that in chat. Go scoop that up. Like literally thousands of people sign up. It's awesome networking as well. I also want to say shout out and love to the stream sponsors, Delete Me, who do enable me to bring the heat to you every single day, and they protect me. I just recently got my privacy report. We're going to be doing Worldwide Wednesday in just a hot minute, so stay tuned for that. But let me tell you, check out Delete Me, and when I come back, I'm going to tell you how this show will literally solve all your CPE problems. Let's go. As a person that exists publicly, especially since I share my opinions and hot takes daily, I'm hyper aware of my safety and security, and it's even easier to find personal information about people online these days. All the data is just hanging out there on the internet, and it can have real life consequences. But I recently found a solution, and this service is called Delete Me. Delete Me is a subscription service that removes your personal info from the largest people search databases on the web, and in the process helps prevent ID theft, doxing, phishing scams, stuff like that. And when you sign up, you tell Delete Me what data you want deleted, and they go off and do it. Cool thing is you get a personalized privacy report every month that shows what they deleted, where they found it, etc. It's pretty cool. For me personally, it's like outsourcing your online privacy, which honestly, I don't have time to do that myself or do it well. So for them to handle it is awesome. Take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now at the special discount for Simply Cyber listeners. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber and enter code simplycyber at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/simplycyber. Sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. All right, I love it. So listen to this. Every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is worth half a CPE. So say what's in chat, grab a screenshot, file it away once a year, count up the screenshots, and either multiply by 2 or divide by excuse me, multiply by 0.5 or divide by 2. Those are your choices, but either way, you're going to win. Believe me. Hold on, let me pause this. You're going to win, believe me. All right, really quickly. Every single day of the week has a special segment, and I am super, super pumped because Wednesdays, we do something we like to call Worldwide Wednesday. Now, I will ask you, if you're a first-timer here, drop a hashtag first-timer in chat, hashtag first-timer in chat. We love welcoming our first-timers, and if today's your first time, you picked a good one because we are about to go around the world. Now, I am super, super proud that the Simply Cyber community is incredibly inclusive and diverse. We get a lot of different opinions, a lot of different takes, nationalities, cultures, etc., etc. And on Wednesday, we actually look at that and prove it. So do me a favor. When I say go, you tell me where you are. I'll frantically try to mark it on a map. And we'll give it 2 minutes and see if we can go around the world. Mods, get ready. I'm also working with a tiny, tiny mod chat screen because I'm on mobile. So don't yell at me too much. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Where are you at, everybody? Where are you at? Gervais Atwell, tell me where you're at. It's good to see you, first timer. Welcome to the party, pal. All right, let's go. Come on. Oh, we're on a 20-second delay. You know what? Roswell, UK. I know you're in the UK. Carrie's always in Texas. We'll mark Texas up. Here we go. Poland's in the house. Yes, sir. Europe is online. Ohio, Palm Beach, staying warm this day. I hope to God. New York, Big Apple action. Chris Rock is in Turkey. You minx, where are you? What are you doing in Turkey? Australia, Funky Monk, thank you very much. Chi-Town, the Windy City, keeping it cold. Pennsylvania, Niagara Falls, Canada. Rich 464 bringing Maple Leafs online. Big Texas in the house. Oh, yeah, Florida is cold. DFW, Alexander Brown. Gil is in Israel. Thank you, Gil, for bringing the Middle East online. Stay safe out there. Southeast Michigan. Pamela, as always. Alberta, Canada from Darius Cada. Peter Collins is in Liberia. We're going to get Western Africa online. Stones fan representing Phoenix. Andres Molina, thank you so much for bringing South America online, my friend. Buffalo, New York. Go Bills, huh? I'm not a fan, but I'm hoping for you. Bolivia. Ooh, Bolivia. That's going to tax my my geography knowledge. Mod check, can you tell me where Bolivia is, please? Nepal. Nepal is in the house. Creeping in there. We got to call that as Asia. Bangladesh, more Asia. Romania, that's probably Dragos. I didn't see it come in. There it is, Dragos. All right, Ohio, Philip Martin, my man. Richmond, Virginia's in the house. Good to see you. Worcester, Mass, George Strasburger. $1.25. Bishop. Right, looking good. Portugal's in the house. Indiana, let's go, Portugal. All right, so check it out. We're going to investigate. We did it. Tom Bishop, the boot. Really quickly, guys, I got to tell you, usually Africa comes with the Fury. Hold on, let me get Taiwan. Africa usually comes with a Fury. I got to tell you, I think it was Collins. Dude, you brought Africa online all by yourself. Bolivia, big South America. Andres Molina in Colombia, Bolivia. So check it out. We got North America, South America, Africa just by the skin of our teeth. Europe with a lot of action today. Middle East with Israel. And then you tell me, is Turkey, Middle East, or Europe? Chris Rock, I don't know. Asia with the Bangladesh-Nepal connection in Taiwan. And then Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, that is how we do it. And I just want to say shout out to all of you. We just went around the world. That's how amazing this community is. Thank you for showing up every day. Thank you for sharing. And thank you. Hold on. Really quickly, I see India and Ghana. Like, you know, I don't want Liberia to feel all by itself. All right, guys. It's time to get to work, though, okay? Do me a favor. Sit back, relax, and let's let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over us in an awesome wave. I'll see you guys at the mid-roll. Let's boogie.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
All right, Kenya. I see you, Kenya.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Wednesday, January 22nd, 2025. I'm Rich Straffolino. 7-zip flaw bypasses Windows security warnings. Mark of the Web, or MOTW, is a metadata identifier used in Windows that marks files downloaded from the internet as potentially unsafe, giving a pop-up warning to users when they're opening them and opening them in protected view. The popular file archiver 7-zip added MOTW support in 2022. However, Trend Micro issued an advisory noting that attackers can use maliciously crafted sites and archives without triggering typical MOTW warnings. 7-zip developer Igor Pavlov actually patched the flaw in November 2024, but given the utility lacks an auto-update feature, a significant number of installs likely remain vulnerable.
All right. So, hey, really quickly, it sounds like Chris Rock said, and this is interesting, Turkey actually is in Asia and Europe. So if we can get a regular, that's like a cheat code. If we can regularly get, like Chris, I don't know if you want to move to Turkey, but if we could get a Turkey representation every Wednesday, we could cheat code this this around the world. All right, dude, 7-zip is ubiquitous. I feel like 7-zip's been around since, since RuneScape was new, okay? And we got a first timer in chat. Who is this? Lubjub? Lubjub, welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome to the party, pal.
And Gervais Atwell, welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome to the party, pal.
We love welcoming our first timers. I hope you have a good experience. Episode 797. So 7-zip is everywhere. The problem is these applications that basically don't have auto update features that are basic, just kind of like once in a while utilities or ubiquitous utilities. For me personally, I do use 7-zip. I'm super happy this story came out. This thing got patched in November and I was unaware. 7-zip for me, basically it gets put into like the right click, context menu, like right click extract 7-zip. So you're not going to like launch it and then get a pop-up that says like you're out of date or whatever. So I do appreciate that. This could be worth sending to your IT counterparts simply because I feel like my Aunt Dorothea, like my kids, like they're not going to download 7-zip. They're going to get frustrated if they can't extract some type of like bizarre archive or a .7z archive. And they're going to come to me, right? And be like, this doesn't work. Can you make it work, Dad? Or, nephew or whatever, and then I'll take care of it. So, but the IT people, right, they're in the know. They're the ones who are like 7-zipping all up and down the place. So, worth sharing with the IT people. The bigger context here is this mark of the web, not to be confused with the mark of the beast, right? The mark of the web, it's this, it's like a flag basically that tells you, Microsoft operating systems will tell you, hey, this thing came from the internet. Ooh, boogeyman, be scared. But more importantly, be cautious. I also got to tell you, it's a cool idea. At the same time, I've had it pop up and I've been a little frustrated with it personally. Of course, I kind of identify as a power user, even though mod chat would have you believe that I'm now a general user. Mod chat. So, this mark of the web, it's a fine thing, but a lot of people will click through it. I do recommend you patch your 7-zip. And if you got any other kind of like normal apps that you use with regularity that are one-off, like Power Tools. Like Power Tools is another example. It's like a Microsoft sysinternals thing that like I run all the time. It's how I'm able to like punch in and write on the screen all the time. Like I don't know if that has an auto update feature, but it might be worth looking. Application management is actually kind of a pain in the A, just like WordPress plugins is a pain in the A. So whatever. Just, you gotta, hold on. Do I have the, you gotta patch it? I do. You gotta patch it. All right, let's keep going. Also want to say shout out to Nathaniel Townsend if he's listening.
Welcome to the party, pal.
All right, let's go.
Attackers impersonate Ukraine's CERT-UA. Ukraine's Computer Emergency Response Team, or CERT-UA, released a report documenting how threat actors use the remote desktop tool AnyDesk to infiltrate their network. These attackers would send connection requests from a compromised AnyDesk account, claiming to do a security audit. CERT-UA does use AnyDesk for some cyber incident response procedures, but said these always are done with prior agreement over secure communication channels. The organization did not provide details about what the campaign obtained or who operated the attacks. Ukraine's State Service for Special Communications and Information Protection said it saw cyber incidents increase 70% on the year in 2024 to 4,300 incidents, mostly from suspected Russian state-backed threat groups. AI executives.
All right. Like, I think you guys are getting a little too much pleasure out of this, like, power user comment. I see a little bit in chat, but I'm also, mod chat's really enjoying this situation. What's up, John V? What's up, Wade Wells? Good to see you guys. Listen, here's the deal. This is actually a pretty great story. I mean, it sucks for Ukraine, obviously, but here's the deal. Threat actors are quick to take advantage and pivot, and red teamers, or you gray hats in the chat, are quick to leverage whatever common behaviors or common things or mainstream things that are going on in order to basically help with social engineering, right? So let me explain really quickly. Like, this story is very specific, but there's a general lesson to be learned here. If like World Cup is going on, right, you're going to start seeing tons of marketing, tons of ads, tons of crap about World Cup. So threat actors will start, using World Cup type phishing emails. If a company was just hacked or whatever, and it's big news, like Change Healthcare, right, last year, hackers are aware of that, or threat actors, and they could start sending like, oh, hey, like, find out who is, if the Change Healthcare data got out, right, find the affected individuals from the Change Healthcare attack, and then email them and be like, hey, like, this is whoever, like public relations, customer service, grief counselor, whatever, from Change Healthcare. Like, they've hired us as a third party to basically help you assess the damage to your identity or to whatever. Like, allow us access to your personal crap, and we're gonna help you out. Like, it's just it seems plausible because it just happened, right? If you've been messaging back and forth with someone about a project or deal, right? And then all of a sudden they send over the invoice and you go to pay it, and then they send over another email and they're like, hey, really quick, like, we changed banks or whatever, bank account numbers, put it to this one, and this is a business email compromise. You're going to trust it. You're not going to question it because you've been in communication. That's basically what's going on here. I'm not even mad at Ukraine, okay? Ukraine is in a global conflict right now, right? Like Russia is attacking them, like occupying them. And the CERT is kind of a federal resource that companies can use, and even in the United States, like, to get threat intelligence and possibly get some help. That's a great point, BSEC. I'll mention that. Possibly get some help, right? So when you're getting messages from a CERT, and you've been getting messages from a CERT, you're likely to believe it. And honestly, it's like, it's helping you. If you're looking for help, that typically means that you're, kind of in a vulnerable position. So this is quite interesting. What I would say is educate your end users, educate your security team, educate your power users, right? Your Jerry's, right? I'm joking. To question things, have a healthy sense of skepticism. DJ BSEC points this out in chat, and it's a great point. If your company doesn't use AnyDesk and someone's asking you to run AnyDesk, that should be a flag. Like, wait a minute. Of course, I do want to say, if you're running Microsoft Teams, like, they can send you a Teams. They can basically use whatever tech stack you're using if they do their recon and figure it out. So they can easily circumvent that. I would just be mindful. Let people know that external assistance should be validated, especially if you're going to be giving access to your system. I really feel like that's the TLDR here. Educate your workforce. Like, listen, if someone claims to be from IT or from InfoSec, validate it, because there's an uptick in activity of threat actors posing as it, right? Question this. Where'd the email come from? Where'd the call come from? All these things. But yeah, these remote access tools, RMM tools, this is what threat actors are doing. By the way, can I just point out for a quick second too? Like, this isn't even like hacking. Like, it makes me want, like, people like the Chris Rocks of the world. Chris, I saw you in chat, so it makes me wonder. Like, do like true cyber pros like scoff at this, or is it all about like action on objective? Because like you're really not hacking. Like all you're doing is asking the victim to install a solution that gives you full control of their computer. It's not exploitation like at a technical level. You're tricking someone, so you're exploiting a human. It's not running, custom code. It's not running a Rust script. You're not setting up C2 frameworks. You're like literally installing LogMeIn or TeamViewer or VNC or whatever Apple calls their solution, and getting on their box under their permissions, and then doing whatever you want. It's like putting on their outfit. I am not Carl. Stop it. Stop it. This has gone far enough.
Executive order revoked. President Trump wasted no time to revoke a 2023 executive order that required developers of AI systems to share safety test information with the U.S. government prior to public release. That order also directed federal agencies to set standards for testing new AI models, including for cybersecurity risks. Revoking the order was part of the 2024 Republican Party platform, so the move is no surprise. In a separate move, President Trump also signed an executive order that states the federal government will not enforce the Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Controlled Applications Act for 75 days. This was the bill that banned mobile app stores from hosting TikTok. This time will be used to review sensitive intelligence and mitigation measures from ByteDance to assuage national security concerns. It will also give more
Hold on, did he go into a separate story?
time for ByteDance to potentially sell TikTok.
Hold on, what? I was like listening to about revoking AI legislation, and then he started talking about TikTok. TikTok. So I don't know what that was all about, but let's just talk about this. Let's talk about this. So this is the story that I did read the entire story prior to the show starting. I almost never do that. 99.9% of the time, I just bring up the tabs and it's authentic. Because of what happened on Monday, I read the story. So let's take a cut at this. This is not a cyber story. Ish. There was basically an executive order that Biden released around testing and safeguarding and sharing of results of AI models, and that has been revoked by Biden. So that is the story. I do want to point out that according to the story as I read it, one of the things was that vendors who are doing AI development would have to do testing and then disclose the findings of the testing to the government prior to releasing it to the public. I found that to be interesting. You know what I mean? Like, isn't that what other governments do? Where it's like, we get like first cut at this and then decide if it's going to go out. I don't know. I also don't know if that's a political hot take or not. Hopefully it's not. So here's the deal. AI is definitely, red hot, like not even red, like white hot. People are doing tons of things with AI. N8N, make.com, like these solutions are making it even easier to like no code, click and drag AI solutions that are doing complicated stuff. I've been doing a little bit of research into it myself. So, all of you are doing AI stuff. We as security professionals do have to worry about it as far as like getting, too much data in the models, sensitive data being leaked, AI being jailbroken. There's a whole area of research around AI, and it's not just on cybersecurity. If you're interested in AI security, LLM security, there is a channel on the Discord server. John V, who's in chat. John V in chat is the one who runs that. Personally, if I had to give a personal opinion, a political opinion,
We just become best friends. Yep.
Oh, there we go. John V with a super chat. Thanks, John V. This is the same John V that I'm talking about in the Discord channel. This John V says Gen AI is not safe. It's not trustworthy. It's not reliable. I would agree. I honestly wish that there was, this executive order that Biden released, I don't know if it was the solution or not. Trump revoking it, I don't know if that helps with innovation. I don't know. my hand still has a blister on it from getting burned on Monday, so I'm not even going to touch it. But what I will tell you is, I think of the movie Ex Machina. Okay, I think of the movie Ex Machina, and if you haven't seen it, I recommend it. But it's just, to me, that's kind of where my mind goes. Okay, not necessarily Terminator 2. Honestly, guys, if I thought the robots were going to rise up and take over, why would they do it in a military capacity? Why would they eliminate all the humans, right? When that's like a workforce that they can take, like the Matrix is probably more right? You have the biggest brain ever, AI, and you're going to result to like, crude tactics for control? No. So, anyways, we will see, but this is the direction.
Mirai variant hits IP cameras and routers. Researchers at Qualys documented this new variant of the pernicious botnet dubbed Murdoch botnet. This targets flaws in AV-Tech IP cameras and Huawei routers, infecting over 1,300 systems since July 2024. Most infections occurred across Indonesia, Malaysia, Mexico, Thailand, and Vietnam, ultimately used to support denial of service attacks. The researchers found that Murdoch botnet exploits known vulnerabilities to gain access to IoT devices before running a shell script to get a next-stage payload. And now, thanks to today's...
All right, hey, really quickly, and BSEC, I goosed it down, so let me know. Hey, if you guys are interested in the Discord, I saw a couple people ask for the Discord, maybe because John V mentioned it. You could see Nightbot in chat right now. If you have to be on YouTube, okay? But Nightbot says join the Simply Cyber Discord, and there's a link. You can also go to simplycyber.io/discord. Go up, not down. Hey, really quickly, since Steve McMichael mentions it, if you go to simplycyber.io/books, the #1 book, this is like my recommended book list reading, and shout out, I always shout her out. Christina Paulika, aka the librarian, helps manage this for me and for the community. This book right here is, I think this should be required reading in high school. That's how strong I feel about this book. Like right now, not like in general, like right now, this book should be required reading in high school. Like this book, The Coming Wave by Mustafa Suleyman. He was the co-founder of DeepMind, which is where they started neural networking for AI and where Google acquired them. He was doing this back in 2012. He's more of a philosopher, classically trained, than a technologist, but he understands what's going on. And he lays out a lot of stuff that is very interesting. So definitely go check that out. Also want to say shout out to first-timer Kanishka Joshi.
Welcome to the party, pal.
All right, so Mirai variant Murdoch botnet exploits AV-Tech IP cameras and Huawei routers. Wasn't Murdoch one of the guys in the A-Team? Wasn't he the goofy chopper pilot who did weird stuff? So anyways, fun name. This is a Shodan. This looks like a Shodan screenshot, which they don't mention. You can use Shodan to find these IP cameras that are internet-facing and Huawei routers that are internet-facing. Looks like if you're running AV-Tech or Huawei HG532 routers, be mindful that there is a variant of Mirai botnet that is targeting them. Just really quickly, it looks like they're mostly located in Malaysia, Mexico, Thailand, Indonesia, and Vietnam. So Southeastern Asia and a little bit of Mexico, basically. So gross, dude. It's exploiting a 2017 CVE. So 8 years to patch it. I don't know. Maybe you want to get on that now. You gotta patch it. And it gains initial access. So remember, the Mirai botnet is a wicked, famous, seminal piece of malware. I won't go into all the history. I will say it's worth looking at. If you are looking to break into the industry, there are some cyber attacks in history that you should be mindful of. I'll just give you a quick rundown. Again, if you're listening and you're trying to break into the industry, or you're just cyber curious or whatever, like Morris Worm is kind of a classic one, but like it's not. It's just like a fun OG one. You wanna look at like Mirai Botnet, SolarWinds, Stuxnet. These aren't in chronological order. The NotPetya was a really, really big, impactful one. The SQL Slammer, Code Red, Melissa Virus. I think those would probably be the good ones. The last couple I mentioned are the older ones. Like Melissa Virus exploited like Outlook's Visual Basic capabilities, and you can't really do that anymore. But like if you do them in chronological order, you can like when we talk about the evolution of the hacker and the threat actor and getting more mature, more sophisticated, more capable, breaking out from an individual into a team, having specializations, a criminal marketplace where there's initial access brokers and ransomware threat actors and then money launderers. Like if you want to see how that evolution went, look at the malware I just listed in the chronological order, and you will actually see it happening. If you've got any other like seminal, WannaCry is a good one. Nick Barker, that kind of launched 1,000 ships in the ransomware game. Although North Korea was behind WannaCry, and they didn't even really want the ransom. Second of all, or next, it's wild to think that the WannaCry ransoms were like $300. You know what I mean? $300 is the ransom. Nowadays, you can't even get a cup of coffee with a ransom for $300. TLDR, I would recommend the following. If you are responsible for InfoSec at your business, two things. Number one, scan your external attack surface and see if you're running this technology. If you are, whether you know it or not, welcome to Shadow IT. If you are running that type of stuff, make sure that it's patched and then go threat hunting to see if it was exploited. You can tell, right? Part of Mirai's thing is that it installs kind of a program on the infected device so it can use it to infect other devices. So you can figure it out. Okay, second of all, I think this isn't an ad or anything, but like I really like it. Shodan.io, SHODAN.io. Shodan.io actually has a really great service. I think it's like $50 a month, which is not awesome if you're an individual, but if you're a business, $600 a year is totally a reasonable expense. They have something called Shodan Monitor, and Shodan Monitor allows you to pump in a bunch of basically your external IP ranges, and then give it like an email address, typically like a distribution or team email, and you can have Shodan actively monitor. So if something like this cropped up on your external network, like through Shadow IT, Shodan would notify you, which is awesome. So, if you're more of a larger enterprise, you probably have better solutions. But if you're a small business, mid-sized business, an MSP serving a bunch of small business clients, Shodan Monitor is pretty dope. I like it. That and Canary tokens. Get some of those.
Episode sponsor, Vanta. Do you know the status of your compliance controls right now? Like right now? We know that real-time visibility is critical for security, but when it comes to our GRC programs, we rely on point-in-time checks. But more than 9,000 companies have continuous visibility into their controls with Vanta. Vanta brings automation to evidence collection across 35 frameworks like SOC 2 and ISO 27001. They also centralize key workflows like policies, access reviews, and reporting, and helps you get security questionnaires done 5 times faster with AI. Now that's a new way to GRC. Get started at vanta.com/headlines. That's VANTA.com/headlines.
All right, hold on.
Fine.
All right, before we launch into Simple Minds, don't you forget about me. Let's just do a quick read from Threat Locker, then I'll do the Barricade while Simple Minds is playing. Alpha Sierra, get ready. Alpha Sierra is our official. What's the person in the marching band who's got the tall hat and the baton, and they're like in the front? What's the name of that person? Let's find out in chat. Then we're gonna launch into the.
I want to
mid-roll.
give some love to the daily cyber threat brief sponsor, ThreatLocker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with ThreatLocker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust ThreatLocker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. ThreatLocker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how ThreatLocker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com.
So I am apparently a heathen. I'm hearing that I'm uncultured right now. There's a couple answers in chat. Drum major seems to be the front runner. Maestro, conductor, grand marshal. These are all great options. Listen, I don't watch college football. I'm not into the pomp and circumstance. I watch pro football. I think it's a better product. So I know the marching band situation is typically around, like you see a lot of it with a college football, but we're going to call it drum major. So Alpha Sierra is our drum major. Okay, I guess high school football. Texas is always flexing. In Texas. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Hey, guys, shout out and thanks to all of you. I hope you're having a wonderful show today. I love it. Texas is flexing. They're also frozen, so they can't. It's all slippery in Texas right now, so they can't get to us. So let's take advantage of this opportunity to poke the bear. Guys, I want to say thank you all for being here. 459 of you people showing up every day, getting not just spun up on the top cyber news, but also contributing to the community, having some laughs, having some fun, all about good times, as well as all about getting some work done. I want to say thank you to the mod team. As always, the mods bringing the heat, keeping you guys up to date. All the little links, all the questions, answers, all those things are provided by the mod team. DJ BSEC behind the glass helping with production. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, thanks to the stream sponsors. Antisyphon, who's got the training next week. I've pinned that comment, so don't sleep on that. If you're on YouTube, the pinned comment is the training. ThreatLocker, Delete Me, and Barricade Cyber Solutions. Guys, Barricade Cyber Solutions, if you didn't know at this point, they've been a longtime sponsor of the show. Very happy to have them as a sponsor. And many of their staff are moderators in the community. That's how much they care about the community. They contribute to it. Barricade Cyber Solutions is dedicated to helping... hold on, let me read the ad. Let me... Stand by. All right. Barricade Cyber Solutions is dedicated to helping businesses from cyber attacks and recover from the damage done. Cyber attacks can cause massive issues for businesses and send dedicated, hardworking business owners into turmoil, but Barricade Cyber Solutions knows how to mitigate the damage done by cyber incidents. We talk about it every day on the show. If you need help with ransomware, business email compromise, active incidents, threat actors calling you, harassing you, Barricade Cyber Solutions has the capability to sort you, get them sorted out, help you recover to a known good state. Listen, they are your partner in what could be one of the worst days in your business's life. Having them on speed dial is a great idea. BarricadeCyber.com. Links in the description below. Trust me, trust me, trust me. What is this? You're gonna want to have that on speed dial. All right, guys. We did Worldwide Wednesday at the entry point, so we don't have a mid-roll thing. But what we will do is do the la-la-la-las. So Spotify's counting down. I think this is it. All right, so Alpha Sierra, our drum major, if you will, please lead us on our la-la-la-las. And everybody I know we had some first-timers here. Don't be shy. Drop some la-la-la-las in chat. It's about to drop. I am going to take a slug of this coffee, and we're going to launch into the second half of the show in just a hot minute. Here we go. I gotta tell you guys, it just feels good. I can't explain it. It just feels good to the la 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 la's, the song, the community, so good. All right, let's crush this second half of the show and get to the jaw jacking.
Fines fell in 2024. For the first time since going into effect in May 2018, the annual amount of fines issued for violations of the EU's GDPR statute fell on the year in 2024, down 59% to 1.2 billion euros. Part of this decrease is from the outsize effect of a 2023 fine, which included a 1.2 billion euro fine against Meta for data transfer practices. Still, even if we exclude that large fine, 2024 fines were down 30% on the year. The Irish Data Protection Commission issued the largest GDPR fine last year, with a 310 million euro fine against LinkedIn for how it processed personal data in advertising.
Yeah, okay.
Microtick.
I need to fix my stream deck to stop the podcast. Oh, that is a good flex. All right, so listen, GDPR fines $1.2 billion in 2024, which you might be like, oh my gosh, that is a lot of money.
Straight cash, homie.
Actually, my friends, that is down from 2023. I'm telling you guys, GDPR has teeth, but if you look at the amount of money these big tech companies are making, it's insane that they can pay these fines and just keep on rolling. Now remember, a fine, a financial penalty fine is supposed to be a punishment that deters you from making bad behavior. So you speed, right? Nick Barker, he's on the elliptical doing 70 miles an hour, gets pulled over. Given a ticket, you're not allowed to speed in a school zone. The ticket, you don't go to jail. Maybe you do 70 in a school zone, you would, but you don't go to jail. You get a fine, and you don't want to pay a fine. You double park, you park in which this pisses me off. I see this more often than I like. You park in the fire loading zone in front of a grocery store and just go in. I hate that. You get a fine, okay? It's a financial penalty, and if you're big. If you got money to burn, right, you're like, whatever. I'll treat it like it's a $50 parking spot. No big deal. I'll have my accountant handle that, like Biggie said. Okay? Same thing here. Dude, when you're Meta and you get fined $300 million in Ireland for, just privacy violations all over the place, and you're like, $300 million? Let me just forward that over to accounts payable, brah. Oh, it's a Blarney Stone, whatever. Insert Irish token joke here. I did watch Patriots games the other night too, which, by the way, the IRA was involved. Anyways, the penalties aren't enough. Again, if you parked in the loading zone of the parking lot at a grocery store, right, a fire zone, and you got a $25,000 ticket. You would never park in that spot. Right? But if you get a $50 ticket, it's whatever. Who cares? Yeah, right? So if you're doing the equivalent of a $50 parking ticket for these privacy violations, there's no reason for these companies to quit doing it. I'm not saying that you fine them $300 trillion and try to bankrupt them, but it's just, I don't know, man. If anything, this is a bit of a hot take. Hold on, that was a misfire. This is a hot take.
Spicy!
Get ready for inbound hot takes. Tinfoil hat, please. Yeah, Flakinator. My metaphor was a little strong. Listen, here is an inbound tinfoil hat hot take. I believe that GDPR fines basically promote antitrust markets because there's only a few companies who can violate the GDPR regulations and take advantage of the value of having all of that data that they're essentially accessing when they shouldn't be, and then monetizing the crap out of it. Whereas smaller, mid-sized businesses, they literally can't compete because they can't take a fine of that magnitude without going out of business. So essentially, this enables big tech companies to have a market advantage in an open, free market. This is just coming to me right now, so I don't know if this is like a hot take or someone's already said this. But yeah, it is interesting. It is interesting that it's like, obviously when you were laying out the regulations, you wouldn't have considered that dimension. You would just assume nobody wants the fines. But when you can do the fines, then you got an edge. All right, what else we got? People, bullet. Yeah, exactly. Chris Rock said he wanted to stop crime and murder. He said it's not about hiring more police. It's about charging $50,000 per bullet. He's like, oh man, that guy must have done something wrong. He's got 150 grand worth of bullets in him. All right, let's keep going.
Routers used for spam botnet. Researchers at Infoblox released a report documenting a botnet of roughly 13,000 MikroTik routers used for spam campaigns. The botnet takes advantage of misconfigured DNS records to pass email protection techniques, making its messages appear to come from legitimate domains. The researchers initially spotted a campaign using the botnet in November 2024 that used lures for freight invoices to launch further payloads that used a PowerShell script to contact a C2 server for further instructions. It appears various firmware revisions remain vulnerable to the botnet, and the initial access vector is unknown.
Oh my god. First timers, you wouldn't know this, but this is what I do when I see these infographics. Oh my god, excuse me. We're going to have to go dark here for a hot minute. Oh. All right, I jest. Okay, so MikroTik, if you're running MikroTik routers, you could be at risk here. This is a DNS misconfiguration attack, so you're not typically running. I mean, you can do DNS lookup in routers, right? So like home routers will do DHCP, basically allocating IP addresses for the local network. They'll also do DNS. If you don't configure the endpoint itself to do DNS, it's like DNS as a service on the network. It looks like in this instance, there are a bunch of vulnerable domains that you can do domain spoofing in. I don't see how there's 20,000 vulnerable domains because... Okay, so it sounds like what they're saying here is... So there's a lot to unpack here. So DNS spoofing is where it says like capital1.com, but then the O in 1 is a 0. So it's like capital 0ne.com, but it looks like capital 1. That's domain spoofing, which is not, illegal, but what the threat actors are trying to do is basically catch someone not paying attention. You can also use UU encode or Unicode or whatever it is in order to get like, the little A with the freaking little swiggle on top. It's saying 20,000 vulnerable domains. So what I have to assume is it says misconfigured SPF. I forget what the acronym is for SPF. I'm sure, please let me know in chat. But I think the problem here is that SPF is like, it's DMARC, DKIM, and SPF. And basically, those are controls around DNS to make sure that you're getting legit DNS lookups, and that when someone emails you, it is in fact coming from that email domain instead of like a redirect or something like that. Hold on one second. Sender policy framework. Thank you. So the sender policy framework, basically, I send an email from simplycyber.io. Swims with Sharks gets it because he has SPF configured and I've got it configured and everything. For a fact that it is coming from me and not Alpha Sierra working on behalf of Flaming Donkey, the threat actor group. So because this misconfiguration of SPF, it sounds like you can get an email from capital0ne.com and it will appear as legitimately coming from capital1.com if capital1.com is one of these 20,000 vulnerable domains that has SPF misconfigured. Threat actors are onto this, and they're actually doing full malware campaigns. A campaign is like, we're going to send this email to 20,000 people. We've got the C2 infrastructure set up. We are hoping they'll click on this, infect themselves. We'll install this PowerShell backdoor. Like when you start getting into more complicated operations, it's a full campaign, right? Especially because if threat like detection engineers start picking up on it, it's tough to change the TTPs. So that campaign would ultimately be, compromised or whatever you want to call it. The microtick devices in this instance, like honestly, it seems like there's way more going on here than just microtick routers, even though that's the lead in the story. The microtick routers are basically being weaponized as an inline agent to help mask where the botnet's coming from, it looks like, right? You see how on the graphic, command and control is on the far bottom right. Then it goes through the botnet, which then accesses these 13,000 routers with SOCKS activated. I think SOCKS is, wasn't SOCKS like Windows answer to DNS? Like, or no, that was Wins. Actually, I don't know what SOCKS is. But anyways, you can see all of the different fraud is in here. Click fraud, denial of service, credential stuffing, data theft. Like basically, it's a smorgasbord of cyber criminal activity. Oh, SOCKS proxy, thank you. All right, so they're proxying through these microtick routers. Basically, they're adding a layer of obfuscation on where it's coming from. So it makes it more difficult to basically shut down. I do want to point out Chris Rock is in chat. I always think about Chris Rock when he was on Simply Cyber Firesides, last year, 2 years ago, and he mentioned like in his operations, it's pretty common to if your target is, let's say your target is Simply Cyber. Okay, I'll make it easy so it's not liability. If your target's Simply Cyber, if you attack Simply Cyber directly from your own laptop, there's logs, there's telemetry, there's, network paths and crap like this. So what you want to do is you want to like attack kind of a softer target that's in a location that looks good or makes sense or is in the industry or whatever, and then pivot through them as a proxy into Simply Cyber at this point. And that just helps with deniability. It stymies the security engineer operation people because they're tracing down what they think is where the attack is coming from, and it's actually not coming from there. So this is good. If you're running MikroTik, be mindful of this. If you're running the MikroTik, there's two TLDRs here. One, these MikroTik devices you should definitely either patch or replace. I'd say is check into this misconfigured SPF or sender policy framework on DNS. A lot of people, including myself, set up DMARC, DKIM, and SPF, and then it's like the Ronco. You set it and forget it. Like you're like, oh, good, my DNS is secure. My emails coming in are secure, and like our partners are secure. You do have to approve. I believe when you're doing DKIM, you have to go through and validate. There's services that do it for you, but just make sure you haven't misconfigured SPF because it sounds like you could be actually exposing yourself to some risk. Oh, calm down.
Zendesk subdomains used in attacks. An analysis by CloudSec shows how threat actors are using free trial subdomains with the customer support SaaS provider Zendesk to create seemingly legitimate-looking URLs. These domains are used to create phishing emails under the guise of customer support tickets and other support messages. Attackers can further augment these efforts by creating customized Zendesk Help Center documentation that matches a spoofed company. Threat actors will commonly use keywords tied to brands in these domains, and CloudSec found almost 2,000 such instances since 2023. Zendesk emails generally get past email filters, increasing the chance of click-through. CloudSec passed along a series of potential changes in the free domain structure to better defend against this practice.
Yeah, Real Bilbo does offer some suggestions on DMARC. He says review your DMARC, and you can use a service like Easy DMARC to help manage that. I don't know Easy DMARC, but I know Real Bilbo, so if he's recommending it, it's definitely worth checking out. So Zendesk is basically one of these cloud solutions that allows businesses to have essentially a service desk. You can open customers, students, members can open help desk tickets, and Zendesk like manages that infrastructure for you, gets it routed to people, does the metrics. Wade Wells is getting crazy good numbers in the Zendesk reporting because he's closing all these false positives. Basically, it looks like threat actors have discovered a way to weaponize it for phishing, essentially because Zendesk emails are being allowed through email security gateways. Now, I don't know if it's just allow all star.zendesk or not, but like anyone, like I could create a Zendesk account and it would be like simplycyber.zendesk.com, right? The emails coming through. They need that to be able to do automation and stuff. Threat actors have figured it out and they are doing phishing attacks. It says Zendesk does not verify email addresses for added users. So it makes it so attackers sending phishing emails can send them both to corporate and personal accounts. Honestly, Zendesk, you can be a threat actor and just be like, "Hello, we're Flaming Donkey Advanced Persistent Threat Actors, but we're actually a red team. So we do this legitimately and legally. We'd like to set up a Zendesk account." And Zendesk is like,
Straight cash, homie.
"Come on in here." Some of the choices that CloudSec, who's done the research, suggests to help you mitigate the risk. This is like how you can help protect your organization. Basically, it says blacklisting unfamiliar Zendesk subdomains. This would be the same as like basically not allowing traffic from there. This would be difficult to do. It shouldn't say, honestly, it shouldn't say blacklisting unfamiliar Zendesk names. It should be saying do an explicit allow for known Zendesk subdomains. Like managing unfamiliar Zendesk domains sounds like a fool's errand because you're gonna have to like I could set up foobar.zendesk and then foobar1 and then yada 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 and then come at me, bro. Like you're not gonna manage unfamiliar Zendesk names, but you can manage known ones. Even that's gonna be hard though if you're getting requests from like new vendors and stuff like that. So this one right here is an example, in my opinion, of like what AI would come up with as a suggestion that is not rooted in reality because this is very, very heavy on maintenance. You can also leverage fake URL and phishing detection security solutions for proactive detection. Yeah, I mean, that's a big mouthful, but email security gateway. Use a good one if you can, right? I don't want to promote any particular platform, but I've used several in the past. I currently use Exchange Online Protection, and I'm pretty happy with it. And then conduct regular employee training on awareness. Hello, GRC Mafia. Did we get our time in the sun? Yes, we did. GRC Mafia for the win. Go ahead and train your employees. Make them aware. Don't click on dumb stuff, Carl. Okay?
Microsoft Teams used in IT support campaign. Sophos researchers documented a campaign by a threat actor, Stack5143, that uses email bombing to set up a call for IT support. The attacks initially hammer a potential victim with up to thousands of messages over several minutes. Then they place an external Teams call acting as a help desk manager to resolve the issue with a remote screen control session. On this session, the attackers drop a Proton VPN executable with a malicious DLL to create a C2 communication channel, as well as install the pentest tool rpivot to create a SOC 4 proxy. While Sophos researchers stopped the attack, it's believed the final goal was to steal data and deploy ransomware. The group Fin7 has used rpivot in attacks in the past, but Sophos didn't have high confidence attaching these attacks to that larger threat group.
All right, so rounding out our stories for the day, Fin7, which is a financial focused cyber threat actor group, is targeting individuals. And by the way, again, I don't research or prep for these stories. Can I just say, like, I feel like taking a lap, especially since Jay and Michelle is really enjoying calling me Carl today. I said earlier, this one right here. This story about Ukraine getting targeted by Russia and AnyDesk and pretending to be the CERT to help Ukrainian businesses deal with threat actors. And I said, you shouldn't really dig into this as like Ukraine and Russia. You should take it as threat actors impersonating and getting like remote management solutions installed and running on your endpoint. And I said it could be Teams, could be whatever. Like, welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome to the party, pal.
like this story is a perfect, like, thank you for affirming what I just said. They're using Microsoft Teams. Dude, Microsoft Teams is deployed like so deep. Like Microsoft has such a foothold on corporate America, just the same way, or corporate period. The same way that Microsoft Windows is like the operating system of the corporate world. Because they bundle Microsoft Teams with their M365 packages, and a lot of businesses use M365, they don't want to pay. The CFO is like, why am I going to pay for another solution when we have Teams? Use Teams. So threat actors know that. And the ruse here is they send you a million, like I'm exaggerating, but they send you a ton of emails. They make it look like you're under active attack. So imagine, if you will, like you're sitting at Starbucks, you're sitting on the airport, whatever, and you're like doing your work, and all of a sudden you get like 3,000 emails, and you're just like overwhelmed. What's going on? What's going on? And then all of a sudden, some white knight, some angel breaks through the clouds, and a ray of sunshine blasts you in the face, and they're like, hello, end user. Hello, end user. I see that you're being targeted by an evil, mean threat actor group. It looks like it's Flaming Donkey APT. We really need to get this cleared up. Allow me, my friend, to save you, to help you. I'm here as a friend. I'm going to go ahead and connect in with Microsoft Teams, and I'm going to run some stuff on your machine. I'm going to do some diagnostics. And in reality, they're going to log on your machine and install a bunch of malware, including like C2 infrastructure. They're going to tell you that you're all set. Surprisingly, the emails are going to stop because the threat actor's not sending them anymore, and they're off and running. This is a classic con. This is like what con men used to do in like the 40s, right? They pretend to be your friend. They're aware of the thing that they're helping you with because they're the one behind it too. And then they help you out and they exploit the trust that they've just gotten, right? It's like, I don't know. It'd be like no different than me like running up like at Lowe's parking lot and slashing your tires and then waiting for you to come out from Lowe's, and I'm like lurking over by where the Christmas trees are usually set up, and then you get to your car and you're like, oh my God, I got a flat tire, and I pull up with my tow truck and I'm like, hey, I see you got a bit of a problem here. I just happen to be in the neighborhood. I sell tires over at my tow shop. You want me to give you a $200 tow and sell you a $50 tire and $300 for installing it? I'm your white knight, baby, right? The guy from Die Hard.
Welcome to the party, pal.
That's what's up, okay? Educate your end users. Specifically tell them this. If you're getting bombarded with emails, it's the beginning of a cyber attack. They're going to know what being bombarded by emails is, and just tell them they should contact help desk. They should not be contacted by help desk. That's literally, you could make that a 30-second short that you can send to your workforce and be like, yo, check this out. Emails coming in hardcore and they're not sales leads. You might be under attack. Do not take a inbound call from IT trying to help you out. Hang up on them and call them back. All right, let's go. All right, guys, I want to say thank you to all of you for being here today. I saw some of you drop off. I'm sure people have a 9 a.m. Meeting to go to or run. I definitely appreciate all of you. Thank you. I hope you had a good time. We do the news. We sing some songs. We play some games. It's all about good times. This is episode 797 of Simply Cyber, Daily Cyber Threat Brief, SANS Podcast of the Year. Shout out to the SANS group for awarding us that prestigious award. If you don't have to go anywhere and you want to hang out a little bit, high five and answer questions, I recommend it. We are going to be doing jaw jacking in just a second. You don't have to go anywhere. Me and DJ BSEC and the mod team take care of everything. Let's get into some jaw jacking, friends.
Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jawjacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some Jawjacking.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the party, pal. I did do the Barricade ad. during the Don't You Forget About Me song. All right. What? Hey, so if you have any questions, drop them in chat. I will flag them. And as soon as I flag them, I will pull them up on stage, and then I will read them, and then I will do everything I can to answer them because I'm here to help. As the questions get queued up, let me tell you guys a couple things. Number one, tomorrow is Thursday, and we have a lot of content going on. On Thursday, we have the Daily Cyber Threat Brief. We're going to have Cyber Mentors Podcast season, episode 3 of this season dropped. We are also going to have B-Dubs, who's a Simply Cyber community member, coming on to Daily Cyber Threat Brief. And as if that wasn't awesome already, on later that night, Chris Whitlock and the Study GRC group are going to be doing their thing. Check this out, guys. If you didn't know, we do release this. Kimberly Can Fix It puts this together every week. A phenomenal job. You can see right here that Thursday the 24th is tomorrow. And look at all this content. We've got your Daily Cyber Threat Brief, Jawjacking. DJ BSEC will be hosting Jawjacking. Cyber Mentors Podcast, The Firesides with B-Dub, Study GRC. Dude, the goal here, everybody, is to provide you with so much value that you want to push away from the table, unbutton your top button of your pants, and just be like, oh my God, I am full of value. Like, I am like, oh, no more. And we're like, wait a minute. We want to do Slay Security Plus. Come over here and do some training with us. And you, oh my God, no, I'm full. Let me take a nap. Let me put on some Lions Green Bay football and just go to sleep. All right, let's keep going. Let me see if there's any pinned comments. Excuse me. All right, I don't see any comments yet. Oh, here we go. Did you register for the GRC virtual webinars today and tomorrow? I don't know what oh, you're not even talking to me. I'm sorry. Hey, put a Q in front of it if it's for me. Funky Monk says, has Ross Ulbricht really been pardoned? I have not heard that. So if you know in chat, he was. Okay. All right. So Ross Ulbricht has been pardoned. I'm just getting this across the wire right now. Yep. So Ross Ulbricht's pardoned. Let's, I guess I'll reserve my comment. I'm a CISO in a company, and I get 3 different reports. One of a data breach, one of ransomware, and one of a major system outage. Which brand of coffee should I drink, and should I have a biscuit? Now, Roswell, UK is from the UK, obviously, as his name implies. So having a biscuit, I think, is pretty standard. I do think you need some jam with that biscuit, Roswell, UK. Honestly, if it were me in that situation, I know you're being playful here. I would go with like a large, like a 4-ounce cup of coffee, dark roast, all black, and almost treat it like like when I was younger. I literally would do this. This is so disgusting. Like when I was younger, like go to downtown Boston, like right outside Fenway, go to a bar and just tell the bartender to bring me a beer every 15 minutes. just because it would be like mayhem, and I don't want to flag down the guy. Just bring me a beer every 15 minutes until we say otherwise over here. So with the coffee, I'd have that come every 15 minutes. And on those reports, yeah, I hope you wore your brown pants. Butler says, have you tried out the SOC sim yet on TryHackMe? If so, what do you think about it? Does it represent a true SOC role? Okay, so check this out. Couple things. One, I actually have to reach back out to them. They actually messaged me about making a video with Simply Cyber on that sim. I have not. Let me tell you what I have done. Okay, when I was at Black Hat, I was on the vendor floor, and I made it a point to go over to the TryHackMe people because I do Advent of Cyber, and I really like TryHackMe. I like the people there. I like what they're doing. There's some members of TryHackMe who are in the Simply Cyber community. There's a lot of good going on. They demonstrated to me the SOC sim live on the vendor floor, and they showed it to me. And I got to tell you, from what I saw from the demonstration, and remember, vendor demonstrations are typically on rails, right? Like the vendor knows exactly where to click. The sales engineer knows exactly what to say. Like usually vendor presentations are all glossy, on rails. Okay, so just to be real, what I saw looked great. I mean, there was like tickets. I mean, like they were inbound, like it was like real-time dynamic. Like it's not just like, here's 30 alerts, now go clean up 30 alerts. Like it was very dynamic. Like in my opinion, it looked super legit, like accurate, like basically like an internship, like you're sitting in a SOC working on alerts. So I will say that I think it definitely warrants investigation. And like I said, thanks for the reminder. I'll actually take action to go message them about doing a video on the channel. I will tell you, bread and jam actually sounds wicked good right now. By the time I get out of jaw checking, I think the breakfast is going to be over downstairs, which kind of sucks, but that's all right. I'll just drink more coffee, and I'm doing it for the community. Alpha Sierra says she's going to be on military duty. Valentino. Okay, so Valentino, do you want to be the drum major next week while Alpha Sierra's out? Let us know. Nick Barker, not my jam. But you know, it does work for some people. Oh wait, hold on. Now I'm just getting crazy clicking on stuff. I'm reading chat right now. Looks like Nick Barker's going to drum major a bit while we're gone. Alpha Sierra, very cool. Thank you. Also, shout out to Alpha Sierra for taking care of the business continuity plan. I appreciate that. W Crooks 42 has a question. W Crooks says, how would you recommend making a simulated risk assessment for a SOC of VMs I made in Proxmox? And how best to present it for employers as a project? Okay, that's a great question. Okay, so here's the deal. Just so everybody knows too, Proxmox is like VMware. It's like you can have a bunch of virtual machines in one kind of environment running on one set of hardware. Okay, so that's Proxmox. Now, he says he created a SOC of VMs. So what I'm assuming you're saying here, Crooks, is that you have a bunch of virtual machines and they're configured to basically simulate a SOC. So there's like maybe a SIM on a server, maybe some SOC analyst workstations. Okay, here's what I would do. If you're going to do a risk assessment on that, you got to pick a framework, right? Like, what are you going to use? I recommend doing CIS 18 would be easier, but if you really wanted to like woo employers, depending on where you're looking to work, NIST CSF would be good. But basically, you got to figure out what you're going to audit, right? So come up with your audit, whatever you're going to do. But let's just do CIS 18 so it's easy, okay? So you've got your audit. Then put together an audit plan. All of these artifacts you should document and make available like on a blog post, and then after the audit's done or the assessment's done, do like a video or something, put that up there. You want all of this stuff either on, honestly, just listen, if you have a blog and you put it there, also create a GitHub and purpose it there too. You don't know who's going to find it what way. And on your resume, you're going to have like multiple things that you're doing that deliver value. So like it's going to look even better. I would then do like whatever your VMs look like right now. I wouldn't audit and assess Proxmox. I would treat it above the Proxmox level and treat it like you're auditing that environment. So, you know, look at how is access controls being done in there? What softwares do you have? Is it being updated? Are you managing it? You probably don't have a lot of documentation, right? So those are all findings. So basically run through a kind of a high-level CIS 18 audit first, find where all your gaps are. Then, if you want to make it even more of a simulation, come up with an idea of like what this SOC is. Is it a outsourced SOC, MSSP, managing small clients that are in the healthcare practice? Is it an in-house SOC for a mid-sized credit union? You know what I mean? Like you like have some like depth, have some dimension to what the simulation is, and then based on your audit findings, go ahead and actually look at the threat landscape to whatever, you know, simulation you're coming up with. So like say you said mid-sized healthcare businesses or, you know, in-house credit union, whatever. Go look at healthcare threat landscape. Go look at financial services threat landscape. Think about what, you know, kind of like what's the size of your staff, right? Again, you've got to beef out this simulation in order for your risk assessment to have merit and actual makes sense, okay? So let's just say it's like a 400-person, Omaha-based credit union with, some infrastructure and like 8 branches, and like this is the SOC for it. So now you've got like a nice, rich environment. You can explain what's going on. Once you do your assessment of what all your gaps are and how bad they are, then you have to write the final report. In the executive summary, which is probably the one thing that if someone investigating your work and your portfolio is probably going to read, go to the, make sure the executive summary outlines very high level, like 2-3 sentences, what you did, right? Like, on this date, I conducted this assessment across this environment for this client, and the following are my priority findings. List the top 3 findings that you have in order of criticality. This would be something that's delivered in-house to like the CISO, CIO, whatever. Somebody to take action, right? You're running like expired certs on an internal network system. You don't put that in the executive summary because ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time
right?
for that.
But your like external facing firewall is like 3 versions behind. Maybe that's a problem. Line those up, and then if you really want to go ham, then do the full risk assessment document. You can go to NIST 830. NIST SP 830 is how to do risk assessments, but I believe it's Appendix D. Oh my God, what a nerd alert. See, I don't bring the glasses on the road, and Dr. Gerald Auger gets the nerd out up in here. NIST 800-30 Appendix D, I believe, is a risk assessment template, and you can use that to lay out the rest of your document past the executive summary. So like your purpose, your scope, your approach, your findings, and then your conclusion statement. Also, who you audited and whatnot. All right. Thanks for the question. That was a really fun one for anyone wanting to do a portfolio. I do want to point out what I just told you is an answer. It's also a lot of work, okay? You don't just hit an easy button and crank this thing out, okay? All right. I'm still looking at chat, but now I have chat from 9:12 because I spent a few minutes on that, so I haven't, I'm behind on chat, and I'm not looking at current chat here. All right, Nick Barker had to leave 5 minutes ago. Bye, Nick. Okay, I'm looking at chat here. Oh, DJ BSEC is now pinning chats. All right, I'm going to speed round these. Thank you, DJ BSEC. I'm going to speed round these for the next 10 minutes. Gil says, restrictions on aid development could cause falling behind China AI research, potentially posing national security. What's better? Basically running, losing the race to the market or having AI take over? Honestly, that's a really tough question. My initial thought is, you don't win in either one. I do think that, here's the thing, I like to learn from history, okay? This isn't exactly a one-to-one. And hey, if you don't want my opinion on this, please just mute the stream or come back tomorrow. When I look at World War II and the development of the atomic bomb, that was a weapon system that literally whoever got it first won the war. I believe that, okay? So if you put a lot of constraint around Trinity in the work that Oppenheimer was doing and everything like that, maybe we wouldn't have got there. And I feel like this technology is literally that level of power. Okay. Yes, you can have an elf android bot that, looks realistic and all these other things, but it's really in the decision making and the automation and everything like that. Is a botnet considered a type of worm because of how it spreads? Yeah. Well, yes. By definition, it is a worm. I did have to fight a bunch of people the other day on the difference between a rat and a Trojan, so maybe people have an opinion on that too. Jazzy Jazz, is government SOC and healthcare SOC completely different or same? Yeah. I would say the skills are the same. The way you do the work is the same. What you're looking for and kind of the bureaucracy and the bloat of the business would be different. So, yeah, your job, right? So you could take Jess Bishop and plug her into another SOC, and she'll do the same work. Wade Wells do the same work. The problem is the SOC is different based on the humans and the bureaucracy and the Game of Thrones going around it. Wade Wells, if you have a comment about this question, and don't even make it government SOC, healthcare SOC, just SOCs in general. Not a question? Okay, I won't read. Ron L. Wood, I plan on getting my Sec Plus in March and then the CISA Plus 2 months later. What resources do you recommend for CYSA to land a cyber job within the government? Other advice is welcomed. Okay, so Ronell Wood, what I would say is go look at the DoD. Oh my God, is it 8170? Give me 1 second. I'm going to put the mic down here. Or 8540? Okay, it's the DoD 8170. 8570. 8570. That's what I wanted. Hold on 1 second. DoD 8570. It's a you'll see it. I'll bring it up on chat in a second. All right. And let me know if this has changed. I haven't worked in the federal space for a few years. Okay. So Ronell, this is the basically U.S. government DoD approved baseline certifications. So you said CYSA plus. Let me look at this. I don't even see it on the list, honestly. So Fern Malo says they're both level 2. What am I missing here? I don't see it. Has it been rebranded as CASP? Does anyone know? So here's the deal. What I do, and this is true with any certification, Ronell Wood. I look at like what is the job market, right? Like this is advice for anyone. Look at the job market. What jobs are out there and what are the jobs you want? Like you want to be a SOC analyst, you want to work in DoD. Like look at the jobs and then look at what they're asking for certifications. This matrix right here is really, really useful because the government uses when they're billing out the work. Okay. Okay. So honestly, I know Fern Malo says it's level 2, but I don't see that here. So I would reevaluate CYSA plus for government work. I know it's pretty good for having working in a SOC. Okay, let's go back to this. Lego Piggy. Oh, he got a new job as a knock technician and wants to thank us for having the show and keeping him informed. I'm so glad I came back to that. Ladies and gentlemen.
I came in like a wrecking ball.
All right. Hey, Angular, be well. And congratulations. If you're still in chat and you're a squad member, do drop a wrecking ball for our friend Lego Pig Guy. A couple more minutes here. What advice would you give a GRC pro preparing for their first audit? Oh, that's awesome, Rashid. I literally have a YouTube short coming out next month on that answer. So what I would say is, okay, listen. Number one things, dude. First of all, Rashid, preparation is going to be your best friend. So, like, whatever you're going to be auditing on, like, literally, whatever you're going to be audited on, make sure that you understand what questions you're going to be asking to get the information from your interviews and what documentation you might request. And if you want to observe something happening, then that's fine. But the important part is, whatever you're going to audit, make sure that you understand who you need to talk to and what questions you're going to ask them. And then make sure that you plan, like a couple weeks in advance if you can, those meeting times, and make sure that you have the people you want in the meetings that make sense. So like maybe you want like the head of IT and a support desk person if you're going to be talking about access controls, right? Because multiple people have different parts of the process. You don't want to meet with the support desk person individually, talk about access control, then talk to the head of IT and they say something that conflicts with what you heard, and now you're trying to play whack-a-mole and schedule meetings. It's going to be a big pain in the ass. Typically, you got like 1 week on site to execute an audit, like max. Sometimes it goes longer, but for the most part, you only got a couple days. So you've got to get all the info right then. So make sure you're ready to go. Plus, you're going to crush it. People are going to feel confident because you're running the audit. You're in command of the meeting room. They're there to answer your questions and everything like that. And one pro tip is don't necessarily, like, for example, like access control. Don't ask them, like, do you have a process? Like, or not even that, like, do you reset passwords? Do you have like, ask them, be like, listen, like an access control is my favorite example. Be like, hey, you just hired someone. Take me through what it looks like from them getting hired to them being able to do their job and touch all the systems that they need to. Like, what's that access control life cycle look like? Then say, hey, like when they like someone quits tomorrow, what does the access control termination phase look like? Does managers approve? Does it go to help desk? Does it automatically set off? Do you guys once a month check things? Like talk to them about the process flows, not necessarily, because like you could have like say 5 controls that you're checking, but all of them can collapse down into one question. All right. Also, if you have the ability, like if you're at if you're at their elbow, right? You're like at the IT admin's elbow, or you're at a service desk person's elbow, not in the meeting room, but like at their workstation, and they tell you something, ask them to show you. Be like, say like, oh, how do you do log reviews? And they're like, oh, once a month, I go in and I do X, Y, and Z, and I check these logs. And you're like, oh, wow, that's cool. Can you show me? And if they're like, that means that they were lying. Like they don't know what logs to go check, or they're only checking like one log. Like say they just open like Event Viewer on their own workstation. They're like, see, I checked the logs. Yeah, you're checking logs, but not the logs that matter. Okay. Hopefully that helps you, Rashid. Go crush it, dude. All right, we got a speed run here. I've got a couple. How many I got 6 more comments, and I've got 1 minute. Carrie, finished another GRC training. Final project, did some GRC to pretend company. What can I do to get strong with GR since I need work? Yeah, well, first of all, Carrie, definitely congratulations on the training. Make sure you're documenting that stuff and putting it out like a portfolio. Definitely do that. I would go like earlier in the stream, you could scroll back a few minutes. I got a question about how to do a simulated risk assessment on a SOC of VMs and Proxmox. I gave a 10-minute answer on how to do that. Go back and listen to that. That's like, I might even snip that and make a video out of it because I think it's a really great project that people could do. Taekwon Gong, with minimum skills, should I start a consulting business? I mean, if you're really good at marketing and sales, or you have a really good network that is trustworthy, if you just hang a shingle and say that you're a consultant, you're going to have a tough time. You have to convince people to give you money, basically. And you can either convince them with relationships, like they have confidence because they know you and what you've done, or you can convince them with like marketing and stuff like that. I don't know. It can't hurt, Taekwon Gong. Like anyone can start a business. It can't hurt. And you can actually just have the business kind of float. Like I have a consulting business I started in 2016, and I probably only did like, like 2-3 projects a year the first couple years. Real Bilbo and DJ BSEC, please don't pin anymore. I gotta clear the queue. Bilbo, have you seen or used Blacksmith InfoSec? It's a compliance tool, starts with framework, pivots to policy. No, I haven't, but it sounds awesome. Let's take a quick look. Blacksmith. Thank you. Blacksmith InfoSec. Is this a paid service? Hold on, what is this? This looks like a... yeah, I don't know about this. I don't know about this platform, Bilbo. I haven't used it, not sure about it. If anybody in chat's used it, please drop comments. Should we get ready, Butler says, to transition to CMMC, or is it basically the same as NIST 800-171? From my understanding, it's very similar to 171. It's almost like saying, honestly, it's like saying FISMA is 853, moderate baseline or something like that. Like, even though it's FSMA, even though it's NIST 837, underneath it, when you get into the weeds, it's really 853. Again, I'm probably saying things that doesn't resonate with everybody, but basically you can say like, oh, you have to be CMMC compliant, but how do you achieve that compliance? Well, you have to implement these controls. What controls? The controls that are outlined in 800-171. So what you really need to do is be 800-171 compliant to get the CMMC compliance. Yes. That's my understanding. Viper says, you mentioned 830. Would you look at FIPS 199 prior to using 830? Is it necessary? No. So this is something like you'll see FIPS 199 and FIPS 200 and FIPS 140 TAC 2 and 860, which is the data classification phase. Listen, I'm going to sum up. I might even make a YouTube short of this. Let me sum up FIPS 199 and FIPS 200 in like 10 seconds. By the way, the answer is no. You don't need to look at FIPS 199. FIPS 199 and FIPS 200 basically say that federal IT systems need to have security controls that map to the data that's inside their systems. That's all it says. So if you have national security, nuclear, diagrams and crap, FIPS 199 says that needs to be a high security level, and FIPS 200 says high security levels need to go over here and get the NIST 853 high baseline. Like, that's basically what FIPS 199 and 200 is. I've read them both back and forth. It's a lot of words. It just collapses down into saying you will use the baseline that maps to the controls based on the data that's inside the information system or the mission, if you will. Which is a bunch of poppycock, because when you get into it, there's all sorts of, imagine, if you will, a Marine Corps a solution that's like a UAV that like a little, I don't know what a squad, like 4 guys take. They have one laptop and they throw like a little football-sized UAV up that does recon. Okay, yes, that's an information system, but like you're not going to put multi-factor, you're not going to put all the controls on it because it doesn't make sense in the field. So there's going to be all sorts of exceptions and stuff. So even though, letter of the law, 199, 200 say you have to do these things, there's going to be all sorts of nuances, which is why, getting back to the CMMC 800-171 question before, it's not about being compliant with like FSMA or CMMC. It's about having controls in place on a risk-based level that makes sense. It's just the federal government's so big and bloated that it's difficult for them to have like these nuanced, like risk-based controls and stuff like that. All right, I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Guys, I hope you had a great show. I certainly did. A lot of fun questions today. I hope you got value from it. As always, we'll be back tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. I'll be doing the Daily Cyber Threat Brief live. So tomorrow I'll be doing it live from this hotel room, and then I have to get on a plane. Well, I have to teach. Then I have to get on a plane, and I have to get on a plane. Sorry, I just had to think. I have to get on a plane, and then I'm flying directly in, like basically airdropping into my studio so I can interview B-dubs for tomorrow's show. So come back, join us. Definitely go to the Discord server and say hi. Chris Whitlock and the mod team have been blowing that thing up. It's awesome. Let's go. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber, your chat. Until next time, let's go.
Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed that content.
No one likes that outro. Let's do Casually Joseph's favorite.